Our first speaker for our event is Kevin Lee, and I've known Kevin, gosh, almost 20 years? Probably close to it. And you guys will laugh at me. We started off in, it was an angel healing circle, and so we'd go give readings. And I've never told you this, but for the first 2 years, every time I saw you, I saw Archangel Michael first. So you'd come up and I'd be like, oh, Michael's here. And so I almost wanted to call you Michael all the time because he was like, his presence was, especially with your long hair. Yes, he had long blonde hair. He looked just like Archangel Michael. Oh, not the Michael. My Michael actually looks like Gerard Butler, but everyone has different. So, but one of the things I loved about Kevin is his growth as a spiritual teacher. And I used to joke with him when we first started because he is very heart-centered, but also very mind-oriented. And he was like, his sermons would be very specific, and he'd make sure, and he had them all, and we're like, just let God flow, just let God flow. And then at one point you did, and it was amazing to see the transformation and how your growth just went exponentially. And that's what we're here to help you guys do this weekend. If you're feeling stuck or you don't know where this is an opportunity for you. Every speaker is going to have something similar and maybe different. You're going to resonate with one another or different parts of it. Take it all. Take whatever works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, it will probably come to you later. So just be open and ready. But Kevin's really going to take you through a great journey today. And we're going to start off with, if Andrew's ready, we're going to start off with a video to kind of give you a little bit about Kevin so you can get a better feel for who he is. And then when he gets up here, you're going to actually experience an amazing evening. So in a few minutes, Kevin Lee will be here. Thanks.
I'm Kevin Lee, and I'm a motivational speaker, a purpose coach, a spiritual teacher, two-time author, and I love the life that I've created today because I actually get to travel, I get to serve people of different cultures, different communities, different countries, and I help them discover who they are and to discover what they want from life. What are their dreams? To help people find their communities, to help people find the love that they seek in the world. And especially, I love to help people find their divine purpose. There was a time in my life when I felt I didn't have any of those things. I felt unloved. I felt I had no community. I felt I had no purpose for existing. I grew up in Texas on a big cattle ranch, and I remember my 16th birthday, and that newfound sense of independence really emblazoned me because I left our family farm without permission to go into a neighboring town, spend some of my birthday money. And as I came home, I found that the gate to our property was locked in the middle of the daytime. It made no sense, which really set me on edge. And I eventually made it through the gate, made it up to the house, and went to the front door, and the doorknob was locked, which it never was. And this sense of dread and a sense of truly being unwelcome came over me. And as I entered into the home, there was my father, a very angry looking man. And we had an interaction that was quite traumatic, that ended with the words of, I don't love you, the family doesn't need you, and you're not welcome anymore. And that was very hard for me to hear that from my family, my community. And as a result of all of that darkness in my life, I really learned about how to build a vibrant community of people around me. And I discovered that when I began to pour into myself first, there was this ripple effect that would give others permission to begin loving themselves. And I can honestly say that I am grateful for the pains in my childhood because it's from those pains that I now live a life of purpose. So because of what I learned, what I experienced in my childhood, I am passionate about connecting with people who don't feel loved, who feel unwanted, who feel they don't have community, who feel that life has no purpose for them. But guess what? You are here for a reason. If you woke up today and you took a breath, you still got purpose on this earth. I see you. I hear you because you do matter. I'm Kevin Lee, and I can't wait to connect with you. thank you, a privilege to be here with you all. That video was actually hard to watch. It brought up some emotions for me. And that video was very important for me to make because I needed to tell my story. I needed to let the wounds heal. And we're going to talk about things like that over the next hour-ish. And I'm going to take you on really a journey through your own valleys. And, this experience this weekend is about making sure that you understand how to take those experiences, the difficulties, the pain, the darkness, the things that people say to you, have said to you, what they tell you, what they speak over you, doesn't mean it has to be true. And a lot of times we'll get into this, but it does, we tend to take it on as a belief. We tend to then begin to repeat that same program over and over and over. And I will tell you, hashtag, those are lies. And I'm going to teach you how to release those. And so, this weekend is going to bring up emotion for you. How many of you have already felt emotions welling, good or bad, good or questionable? Even in the meditation, that was amazing, right? I got into this hypnotic trance. I could feel the grid building above us, below us, around us. I felt as though I was in a hypnotic trance. And it was interesting because just as I started coughing, what did Leanne say? She said, and we're working on the throat chakra. And I thought, how interesting, because something's coming up for me. And so the energy is going to move. You're going to have emotion. You're going to experience things maybe you haven't experienced before, and that's okay. And I want you to know you're in a safe space. And I say that, but we need to create that. So what I like to do is I like to get your agreement in that for this weekend, even tonight, for each other, for yourselves, for each of the speakers like myself, we will hold safe space for each other, right? And so the first agreement is no judgment. How many times do we walk into these events and we look at someone up and down in the corner of our eyes, labeling them, maybe they look rich, they look poor, they look gay, straight, whatever the issue is. And so we are creating an opinion of someone that may or may not be true. It's not even relevant. Why are we doing it? And so I want us to remember that in this space, over this weekend, that we need to agree, no judgment for each other, however we show up. So if you can do that on the count of 3, I want you to raise your hand and say, I agree. 1, 2, 3. I agree. Zoomers? Actually, I didn't even say hello, Zoomers. My Zoomers. Are the Zoomers here? Can I see them? I don't know if we can broadcast them, but I love to talk to my Zoom people. I'm very engaging with both audiences. So I will just say, you all as well, raise your hand. For those of you watching on this live stream, I want you to know that you are definitely seen. You are in my heart. You're in the vibration of this experience. And whatever I ask this audience to do, I'm going to do my best to make sure you also are addressed and supported. And so the next agreement is no repercussions. Sometimes in experiences like this, these emotions will well up. You may start giggling for no reason. You may start crying. You may start coughing. All kinds of things can happen. And that's okay. Things are going to happen. So I give you permission. If you need to ugly cry, you just go right on ahead. All right? We'll find tissues for you. We support you. Maybe move to the back of the room, but you can do it. So if we can hold no judgment, but especially no repercussions for how people show up tonight or even this weekend, even your speakers, like I said, even yourself. On the count of 3, I want you to raise your hand. I want you to say, I agree. 1, 2, 3. I agree. Good job. See, you guys are doing great. And the last one, most importantly, is unconditional love. We have to hold unconditional love for the space, the speakers, ourselves, our neighbors. When we go home after a long day, who greets us? Our little pets, right? Our fur babies. And what do they bring to us? What do they demonstrate on earth? Those, right? I hear unconditional love, exactly. And so no matter how many times we yell at them for peeing on the rug by the door, chewing up your favorite carpet, which, yes, they've done both, we still love them. They love us unconditionally. And so we have to do that for each other. We really should. And we'll get into that. We are divine creatures. And so if God is unconditional love, we should work towards demonstrating that. So if we can hold unconditional love for all the experiences tonight and tomorrow, I want you to, on the count of three, I want you to raise your hand and say, I agree. 1, 2, 3. I agree. Excellent. Zoomers, thank you. And so this space is safe now. So I want you to just turn to your neighbor and say, this is a safe space. And I want you to turn to your other neighbor and say, you are safe in this space. I made that a little personal. Because sometimes we say things in generalities, but you know what? You really are in a safe space. Very few places in the world, I've said this for so many years in my own ministry, places like this do not exist all over the planet in a large number. They truly are little oases in the desert. A people who live in the illusion that the third dimension is all there is. We know there's more. Our community does. And so I want you to know this is a sacred, safe space. Very special. Now, I want to know, I can see pretty much through the light now, how many of you know me from the Metaphysical Chapel days? Right? Metaphysical Chapel of South Florida. So quite a few of you. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Right? It's good to be back on stage. And, you know, I'll tell you this. What you know of me then and the things that I was doing, like Joel was saying, the changes in my growth, the changes in the ministry, the events that I was putting on to try and bring more light to South Florida, things have changed quite a bit. I don't know if you all have noticed kind of what I've been up to over the last 4 years. I've been off the radar, still on social media. A lot of things have changed. What you may or may not know about me is this. This farm boy from a cattle ranch in Texas has a status in Amazon as a #1 international best-selling two-time author. That's amazing. I mean, I was really surprised when I found that out. It wasn't something I was shooting for, but it was the quality of the work. That's what I'm going to say. I know it was spirit. And I'll say this also. It was my farm upbringing, the way that I was taught growing up. It was the values, even though I'm going to take you through the valley, there were some good times, the values that I was trained in, which was to serve others selflessly, and also just the value of showing up in compassion and kindness. That was infused in me, and because of that, those values, because of my purpose, that has led me to be on 4 different $1 million producing stages. Not my money, somebody else's, but I got stage time. That is incredible. And I'll tell you why that's amazing to me, because it just goes to show that no matter what your station in life, where you come from, when you align yourself, I'm going to say that, thank you, Spirit. I'm going to align my soul star with my earth star with my soul star, right? And when you really step into the heart, you step into the flow, you step into divinity and expression, there's nothing you can't do. Doors will fly open. We have all seen, a lot of us have seen doors open and doors slam in our face. The doors that open easily are the doors to walk through. It is that easy. The opportunities, the things, the people you can't get in touch with, the situations that blow up in your face, that is a blessing in disguise. There is a reason you do not need to be in that energy. Very, very simple and easy. I used to think, Joel's right, I'm an overthinker. So I overanalyze everything. And I would overanalyze all the signs around me. Well, that was a yellow butterfly, but I think it's the mating season, and I think that they come through South Florida, so that couldn't be spirit. It's that bad sometimes. And so I'll tell you this, it's those values that got me to these great places. It's thinking back, it has been 20 years. That is really wild. I've been here 21 years. And what really blows my mind is when forgive me, I'm a nerd, okay? When I calculate how many people I have actually spoken in front of, I know that I've spoken in front of 18,000 people in the last 20 years. But what's more amazing is this. What's amazing is those people, just like you will tonight, I guarantee they know in their hearts that they matter. They know they're seen, they know they're heard, they know they are divine, and they know they're in a safe space with me. Because I always created that. Why? Like I showed you in the video, because I didn't have that. That's what I wanted. And so that's really why I do the work that I do. I'll tell you, my life, all these amazing things that I just shared with you, that's not to be braggadocious, just to show you where I've come. But let me tell you the craziest part. My life, a glimmer of it in the video, wasn't always so bright. You know I'm from Texas. You know I'm a little farm boy. I was a very sensitive, very dreamy little boy on a big Texas cattle ranch. And my presence in my family was a problem. My presence in the church was a problem. My presence just in general was a problem for everybody. And I remember very distinctly my 16th birthday. It was May 24th, 1986. I felt all grown up. And I could make my own decisions. And I decided I was going to take that birthday money and I was going to drive to town with my best friend who was also very less than masculine. And so we left the farm without my father's permission. And that really was the ultimate thou shalt not. So a few hours later, we come home. I was so proud. So happy. I was literally beaming. I can remember it. My soul was beaming. I didn't even know what a soul was back then, but I was beaming. And I literally felt taller. I felt so proud of the decision I had made, that I had stepped into my 16-year-old Texas laws say I'm adult now kind of mentality. And I made a decision for myself. And I went on a journey. I had an adventure and I had fun. And I spent all that money. I didn't save any of it. And so when I finally proudly walked into the house, there was my father. A very angry man, someone I had never seen before. And his hands, they were not open to embrace me, because his hands were wrapped around his shotgun pointed at me. I remember my body was shaking. I remember I could not breathe. It was hard to catch my breath. I remember I couldn't even process the moment. I could not get my thoughts together, and I was frozen in my spot. And I remember asking, "Dad, what's going on?" And he said, I'd rather be in jail than have a son like you. Like you. But what I really heard was that I don't matter. What I really heard was that I was not important. What I heard was that I was less than human, and I didn't deserve to breathe his oxygen. That's what I heard. I don't know where it came from, but from whatever soul was to me back then, from down inside of my gentle, kind, compassionate, less than masculine soul, wouldn't hurt a fly. A strength rose up in me. A power surged in me. And I remember making a declaration to myself in my inner voice. Well, if you don't want me and you don't need me, I'm going to go find some people that do want me, because I do matter. And just as I said that, my favorite church song flooded my head. That's the only way I can describe it. I could hear singing in my head. And that declaration was added onto. And I said, you're not going to dim my light, because this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. And day by day, step by step, I grabbed hold of my light, my divinity. I grabbed hold of my thoughts, my actions. I began to chase my dreams. I began to shoot for my destiny. I began to pour into myself in a way I had never done before. I survived that experience. It was my catalyst of the new me. I began to create spaces. I didn't even know I was doing it. I created spaces for people just like you, so that you could find your divinity. You could find your greatness. You could find your purpose in life. Truly remarkable, that moment. That whole experience that I went through was one of the most beautiful memories I have now. It's hard. You can hear it in my voice. It's hard to share this. It's emotional still. But I'll tell you this. I actually stand in gratitude to my Father. I am in gratitude for the role that His soul chose to play as my Father that brought me here on this earth. I'm grateful for the pain He caused. That role, that very difficult role that His soul contract was to never tell me He loved me, to never want to touch me. I'm grateful, because look what it's given me. Whew. It's given me amazing purpose. It's given me incredible purpose. I want all of you to know I do see you. I want you to know that I hear you. I want you to know that you matter, because you really are divinity in presence tonight. That's how special you are. That's what I call the valley. That's kind of what has made me who I am. And I think we've all been on these journeys. And I want you to, some of you may remember me saying, when you change your mind, you change your life. I put it in the book. I made it a chapter. Because it's really true. When I changed the perspective of the pain and the nastiness and the poison in my life, that what had happened to me, and I could actually find the silver lining. I used to write sermons about that. Find your silver lining. Because behind the dark clouds, the sun is always shining. Divinity, God, Goddess is always there behind the dark moments. Dolly Parton even said, you know, I'm going to throw this out. Dolly Parton said, you can't have rainbows without the clouds. I said, you all right, Dolly? But it's true. She actually is very true. We have to have storm clouds in order to have that high vibrational expression of God in the rainbow. I love that. Life happens. It's how we view it. It's what we make of it. Let me give you this, just a little aside. I had experiences. There is let's call it an outcome. We have an experience over here and we have an outcome over here. Could be a traumatic experience, and maybe little Kevin is still crying over here. What could change that? From one side, that energy from one side to the other. What do you think? My response. How do I respond to the traumatic experience? How do I respond to the judgment from another person? How do I respond to the repercussions of maybe what I said, did, or how I showed up? What's my response? If we can control the response, we can control the outcome. So if I can find the silver lining in that experience, I don't have to worry about the outcome, because I guarantee you it's going to flow right on through, and it's going to transform, which is what the whole purpose of doing that is. How do you respond? How do you see that? How do you think about that? How do you, I'll say, program your mind? Everything's all about the download and the software and AI and all that. But when you think about it, in a way, we're all downloading divinity itself constantly. You may not be aware of it. These experiences that we show up and we walk into, we're blessed by some of these opportunities, good or bad. They're opportunities to learn from. They're lessons of life. In my life over the last, I would say from childhood until now, most of my life, I hated God. Can you see why? I hated church. I hated anything to do with religion. Wanted nothing to do with it. Wanted nothing to do with it. And what did the universe say? Slap a little of that on his plate. Let him deal with it. And they did. I could never see myself being a minister. I could never see it. I never saw it growing up. I'd be what everybody told me what I was, who I was, what I was not, what I could be and couldn't be. And I believed it. And so what's interesting is I've been a nurse for 33 years. I'm healing people, serving people, holding space for people to get better. I've been a nurse anesthetist for about 20 years now. That was my life goal. I thought life was golden when I reached that. That was about 20 years ago, and 6 months later, where are we at? Somewhere that direction behind me. Victoria Park, sitting in the house by myself. What I can only describe, well, I'll tell you this. Maybe some of you understand. A living, conscious presence came around me, and I had never felt that before. I'd heard about it in the Bible, because a good Texas kid who goes to church every Sunday has to memorize the Bible. And so there was this living presence that came around me, and I remember it feeling safe. I remember it feeling like, what is that? What do you drop into? Alka-Seltzer. It's like dropping Alka-Seltzer into water and it bubbles up. I could feel bubbles in my spirit. It was like something rising up that I'd never felt before, and it blended and wrapped itself around me, and I could hear a woman's voice in my head like a memory that flooded my mind. It wasn't physical out of my head. I'm not crazy, y'all. It was like a memory that ran wild, and it was audible. I could hear it, and she said, kind of urgently, she said, "Get up, go to your car, you must drive." And I thought, I hate driving. My husband's here, he knows, he drives me everywhere. And I thought, this is crazy, but you know what? I'm not scared. It doesn't feel evil. I don't know what it is, but it feels trustworthy. And you know what? It reminds me of something biblical. I'm going to trust it. So I went and got in my car. And what does every overthinker do? He snarkily responds when he closes the door, "Now what?" And I heard the voice come back and say, "Drive south." I was like, I'm literally just like that. And I thought, okay, well, there's nothing south of Fort Lauderdale but sleepy Dania Beach and tourists, a lot of Canadians. Nobody goes there. Why am I going there? At the time, I had no clue the road to take, meaning, no, let me say that differently. I knew without knowing. I don't know if that makes sense. There was an awareness of exactly what road to take to go into Dania Beach, right by the airport. I took that road. As I enter into the metropolis of Dania Beach, I thought, what are you doing? Why are you in this town? There is nothing. This is crazy. You're listening to a voice. And then what happens? Metaphysical chapel. And I'm like, what the hell was that? Because where I come from, that's like angels dating demons. They do not go together. That was an interesting moment because I thought, I don't want none of that. Let me just keep on driving. And so as I did, that presence came back in the car. But this time it was very urgent. Turn around, you must turn around. And I thought, are you freaking kidding me? You want me to go back to that weird place? I don't like this. I don't like this moment. And so I turned around, I went to the place, and I fell in love, and it was amazing because it was exactly what little Kevin, I'm not kidding, little Kevin in Sunday school, I was fascinated by biblical stories of mysticism, all the phenomena, the angels, all that kind of thing, the Ark of the Covenant. I was mesmerized by all the stories. And that church changed my life. I felt I was at home. They talked about a lot of the things we speak about. Higher vibrational truth, spiritualism, metaphysics, Eastern philosophies. They had a woman preacher. I had never seen that before, and it was progressive, and I was living for it. Loved it. And she wore a robe, too. That was kind of cool. They did spiritual healing. I'd never seen that before in a church. Wow, that was amazing. She interpreted Scripture metaphysically, which was exactly kind of the big hook for me because I didn't understand that concept. All that, you know, all the symbolism in the old Scriptures, and you're like, why are there 7 churches and why are there 7 days on the water and in the mountain and all the 40 days? What's all that all about? Well, I didn't realize there was an ancient mysticism written, Kabbalism and so forth in those times. And I remember sitting in that rinky-dink little church, all white people, everybody's twice my age, small number of people, and I remember thinking, this is weird, but I like it, but I shouldn't like it. I'm not supposed to be here. This is a danger to my soul because I grew up Southern Baptist Christian. You did not associate with anything like this. It was truly transformational for me. It became my home. Interestingly enough, probably within 6 weeks of me arriving, I realized why I was there. They were dying and were literally 2 or 3 weeks from closing the doors, and I fought. And I didn't understand why I was fighting for a church. I hated church. I wasn't going to fight. Why am I fighting for them? I don't want to fight for them. But there was a program operating inside of me. My soul was telling me, was fighting for me. And I didn't even know it. My soul was fighting for my future. And so I rescued that little dying church, and I built it up to a successful church. We had a lot of events over the years. My gosh, about 2,000, if I'm not correct, in almost 20 years. Amazing. So that experience, so in that time, up until Christmas time, about 6 months, being in the space with my mind blown, and I'm still hating church and hating God, and I don't know why I'm here, but I like it, and all that. And my leaders, my leadership did not do a good job educating me on the principles of metaphysics and spiritualism. So my old program was operating. The things I had been told, the opinions of others, what people said I was, what I wasn't, what I was capable of and not capable of, all of that was still operating like water. And then the oil of this new teaching was coming in, and they were not mixing. It wasn't working. Because by Christmas, I had decided, I don't know what this is all about. It doesn't make any sense. All I know to do is I'm going to protect myself. I am running. And I literally declared one night, I had finished 2 weeks research, and I was studying to write my first sermon. I wasn't a minister. I told the preacher, I'm not going to be a minister, but I'll write a paper because I like to do research. I turned in a 20-page sermon too. Y'all laugh? Those of you who used to know me 20 years ago, no, you would sit there for almost an hour listening to me, page after page. So anyway, I didn't want to tell anybody. I was running. Turned that sermon in. It was on the metaphysical meaning of the birth of Jesus at Christmas, something I knew nothing about. And I was given a stack of these dusty, amazingly smelly old books that I just loved. And I read and I wrote and I read and I wrote. And it was fascinating, but I was so confused with what people had told me versus what my soul was telling me. I didn't even know I had intuition. I just knew that something inside was telling me, this is right, stay, you're home. Turned it in. Because I'm a good Texan, I'm a man of my word. I showed up to a class the next day that I had promised I would be at, an experience. I'll call it a spiritual experience. There was an elderly gentleman with incredible, very prophetic gifts at this experience. Eventually, he came to me, and he called me out, and he said, young man, I'm not being funny because it's Christmas, You have Mother Mary, you have Father Joseph around you right now. They're telling me they're working on a very important project, the first of many to come with you. And they're very proud of you. They guided you to the church that you found. I thought, how the hell does he know that? I was like, how do you know what I was writing about? How does he know that I just found a church? And he said, okay. He said, I'm not saying this, but Mother Mary is. She wants you to know you have free will. She wants you to know that you can leave, but if you stay, you will change the lives of tens of thousands of people in your life. You don't realize the potential in your soul. Beautiful. My mind was blown. I didn't know what was going on. I went home in silence. I got to my bedroom and I cried hard. I remember. I cried because I felt literally transformed, mind, body, and spirit, like I had been washed anew. And when I thought back to that experience, I noticed in the moment, wow, I'm not getting my butt chewed out right now by a spirit person. Is this real? What I noticed was she spoke power into me. She spoke words of love and really unconditional love. She spoke words of kindness and compassion into me and told me my potential. Nothing I'd ever heard from a prophet, a preacher, somebody on a stage, even my own family. What did I not hear? That I was evil. She didn't tell me I was an abomination. She didn't tell me I was a sinner. She didn't tell me God was disappointed and going to dismiss me somewhere else, hot, with no iced tea. That's what I didn't hear. And that affected me also. For the first time in my life, I was experiencing spirit. I was experiencing God in a way I had never had that served to me. It changed my life, and I thought, well, I don't know what that guy just did, but whatever that is, I need to learn that, and I'm going to change people's lives too, just like he changed my life tonight. That's how powerful it was for me. And Mother Mary still shows up in my life. She's always doing funny things like that. Funny, very funny things. And that began me in the vibration of, Kevin, you matter. Kevin, you have purpose. Kevin, you are important. What you have to say, how you show up, your choices, your decisions, how you act, it's all good. It's all divine. There's no judgment. We are never separated. If you take nothing home from me tonight, listen to this. There is nothing you can do, say, think that will ever separate you from God. The presence of God in your life. The vibration of divinity. I want to ask a couple of you, brave souls, what is your definition of God? I want you, because we're going to try to record this, I want you to come to the mic. Somebody come up here. Where's the mic? And I want somebody to share your definition of God. Be clear and concise. Just anybody. It's easy. I know you all want to be speakers. This is Amish Speaking 101. I have faith in you. Come on. So what is your definition of God? Thank you, Dennis. And if somebody else feels inspired, come also.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dennis. I'm Kevin's friend.
Thank you.
My definition of God is light within everybody.
I love that. Thank you. Simple. See how easy that is? Easy.
Everybody
Anybody
has
else?
God within them.
That's true. Exactly. Anyone else want to give a definition? I do. I like interaction. Those kind of experiences. So you can get up, you can walk around. I couldn't afford a runner tonight. All right. So let's ask another question. How about this? What are you? We know Dennis really did touch into some important things of light. Divinity is within. But what are you? I heard it. It's over here somewhere. I heard somebody say it. Say it. I'm God being Bev. That's what she says. Love it. You know why I love it? because she's right. You are God in expression as you. God's not a white man up on a cloud somewhere with a long piece of paper and Satan's telling him what little Kevin was doing back then. That's what I used to think. God is not someone separated in a galaxy far, far away. God is right here. God, it does say in so many world religions, God is the all, right? God is everything in existence, the universe, the multiverses, all the different types of radiation, the light, the plants, the creatures, the atmospheres. God is everything. We are a product, we are literally a birth of the universe. We are an extension of this universe. And in that principle, we are an extension of God. We are Bev. We are spiritual beings. I love that, having a human experience, I heard someone say. And it's really true. So I want you to think about answering that question, what is God, what am I, in just a few short words. I am God in expression. And that's why nothing you think, do, or say can ever separate you, get you in trouble, get you sent someplace, which doesn't exist. It's a whole nother lecture. But seriously, you cannot be separated from that. So I don't want you to keep holding on to the programs, the lies that we were told growing up, right? That you are separate from that divine source. You are literally a soul star in a chair tonight. Your soul star is beaming in the earth star of you. Does that make sense? So that's what we wanted to create this weekend, which was connecting each of you in an earthy way to your divine nature, reminding you of who you are, where you came from. Does that make sense? Interesting. Yes, I had to memorize a lot of the Bible. There's one scripture I will share with you. Conveniently, I have never heard it. I've spoken in a lot of churches around the country and out of the country. I've never heard Catholic or Christian churches share this scripture, the definition of God. And it's exactly what we believe. In the little book of Acts, it says, "For in God is the one in whom we live and move and have our being." Is that a definition or is that a definition? God is the one in whom we live and move and have our being. So when we speak about divinity within, we literally exist within that essence of divinity. We are a product of the divinity. We really, that's it. We're just a product of the divinity. It's experiencing itself as us in this form. Beautiful. I love it. What it reminds me about is the principles of what I was taught so long ago, which was, you can never be XYZ, a minister. Look at you. Who wants to hear you talk? You need to be seen and not heard. I heard that way. How many of us heard that? Do you think that poured worthiness or love into my heart? No. I was very drained by that. That was very hurtful. Do you realize how powerful our words are? The words that were shared with me were really weapons in many ways. And I want you to think about that, because when people say things that really don't resonate with what you know to be true, sometimes we do listen to them. Some people may say I'm fat. They may say I'm lazy. They may say I'm not, you just can't be whatever you think you're going to be. And we listen to that and we believe that. And then what's worse, we begin speaking it to the man in the mirror, right? How many of you have caught yourself saying the very program that your parents or your church or your families or whomever in a long time ago, you are repeating the cycle? It's kind of scary. We're going to work on changing that. And so in this segment, what we're going to do is this. Since I can't connect with the Zoom people, I will focus on Zoomers. I want you to know this. You're going to be working Marco Solo. And I want you to definitely place in the chat your answers, your results, your discoveries. I'll keep mentioning that. And so that you can bless the people that are connected with you. I cannot read that right now, but I want you to know that the people that are there with you, they also need you to hold space for them. So just share. By your sharing and shining, you're giving other people to do the same. So lead by example, and definitely stay connected in the chat. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to take you back safely. I'm going to let you expose a few lies. We're going to expose them. So I want you to either get a sheet of paper or get your phones out. Everybody's got a phone. Get your little notepad open, an email or something that you can type in, because what you're going to do is you're going to pick a category, one of four. I have 4 categories. Those categories are money. How many of us have been told things about money? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's evil. Cash is king. You know, all these kind of crazy things. And then we take that on, it becomes a lifestyle for us. And so these things, money, that's one category. Spirituality, or it could be religion for you. Relationships, ooh, that's a biggie. Always a biggie with my clients. When I do coaching, it seems to always go back to relationships. So we have money, we have spirituality, we have relationships, we have health and wellness. That could be like body stuff, psychology, body stuff, working out, how you eat, health and wellness. So I want you to pick one of those 4 categories where you feel you are still reciting something that someone has said to you or programmed you with, #lies. I want you to write about that. That's going to be the lie, the angle of your lie in that category. So if it's mostly about money, go with money for now. If it's mostly about relationships, or if it's mostly about your body image, go with that. Why is that? Well, we don't have a lot of time. We can't do all 4. But what you can do is I can take you deep into this one category, and then later, in fact, you can come see me later. I have a flyer with a QR code. I'll give you the whole workbook, and you'll get to do this whole experience on your own. It's my gift to you. Okay? I can't even think. Divine Wisdom Workbook, something like that. Forgot what I called it. But what I want to say is in this, what you're going to do is on line 1, you're going to type or write the lie that you were told. Skip 2 lines. That's important. We'll come back to that in a moment. Skip 2 lines, and after that first line, and then you're going to write another lie. So we have a lie, skip 2 lines, write a lie, skip 2 lines, write another lie. You're going deep into that one category. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I will partner you up also. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write. We'll kind of keep tabs on the time. And yeah, I think that's probably, let me do a demonstration for you, because sometimes it's hard for people to conceptualize what I say. So let's talk about money. I was taught you only lived with cash, never credit. And don't you dare put your money in the stock market, because that's all Satan's work. So cash is king, really. And so I struggled with that for so many years, because there's so many other ways of showing up in the world, and there was all these messages coming at me, take my credit card, take my debit card, you know, join the stock market and all that. So I had issues with money. I struggled with really scarcity, and I felt I never had enough. I was fearful that I would be homeless for some reason. I thought, well, what if I just don't make any money, and then what am I going to do? I have nowhere to go. So it was always a scarcity mindset. So that's something I would write about. I would say, money is evil. Cash doesn't grow on trees. The stock market is bad. Don't worry about investing in the banks. They'll rob you blind. You can't trust them. So those are things I would begin to write down on my paper, right? Very important. So this is the poison, safe poison, and then we're going to do a little bit of healing after that. So I want you to go 2 minutes. If we can have a little instrumental music while they work, that would be beautiful. And go ahead and start writing. Line 1 is a lie in your category. Skip 2 lines, insert the next lie. These are little wins for you. So when you go home tonight, you can continue to work on this, and especially because I'm going to give you the workbook. Just come see me. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to add a little healing to this. I like to call this moment divine dialogues. You're going to have a divine dialogue with yourself. I felt this vibration earlier during your meditation. It really is a mantra. That song was gorgeous. Did y'all like that song? That mantra thing, whatever she was saying, I was digging it. So, I did, Shazammed it or something? What do they call it? Whatever the kids call that stuff. Okay, so, divine dialogue. So, we're going to create a powerful talk for you. Because if that marble, that poisonous marble is still rolling around in your head, you want to deal with it in an effective way. You want to look at it differently. You want to empower yourself. You want to raise the vibration of that darkness to a much brighter state of being, a nature. And so what we're going to do is create this powerful mantra that is for you. So if I speak about money, great example, it's so easy. So I may not have enough money, I got to work really hard because I may end up homeless, and then who's going to take care of me, and like all of those things. If I'm going to create a divine dialogue, a powerful new speak for myself, I will do this. I will create something that says, I am the expression of abundance divine in human form, flowing in the river of prosperity. It's just a beautiful little saying that is so eloquent, so something beautiful that uplifts your spirit. What can you write? You don't have to channel. You don't have to go into an altered state. What sounds good to you? What would you love to hear somebody say to you? And create that for yourself around that lie. And so that's how we're going to change the vibration, is we're going to replace it with powerful self-talk. So if your category is relationship, I've been divorced 5 times, I've been bankrupt, who'd want to date me, like things like that. Well, let's replace that. I am divine love in expression. I flow in a river of love. My light attracts my ideal mate if I'm looking for a partner. Does that make sense? So put yourself into the vibration of that divine dialogue for yourself, with yourself, as yourself, and create a mantra. You've got 2 minutes. It's not a competition, so if you only do one, it's okay. And even if you swing and you're like, I don't know if it sounds good enough, it's perfect. Because the more you flex that muscle, I guarantee you the words will start to come. It's like, this really is telling you all about my history. It's like priming a water pump in a field. You had to get the water from the earth, and the only way to do that is to push this stick with a pipe way down into the earth, and the mud would shoot out. But eventually it'd be pure cold water that was amazing. But a lot of mud had to come up. Same deal here, right? So things may come up. Your lies may come after you. I've had some students tell me that. Their lies began to stop them from creating divine dialogue for themselves. That is ego protecting itself. So 2 minutes, music. Just have the music lower, please. Thank you. 2 minutes. So on the second line, you're going to write, right after the lie, you're going to write the powerful self-talk, that divine dialogue, the mantra that you come up with that empowers you, emboldens you, raises your frequency. Go ahead. And your powerful new mantra. Is there anybody who would like to do that? Are you getting up to share? I have one I've got to share. I'm going to start this one. I want to share with you, there's a lovely lady named Kathy Smith, who is one of our Zoomers, and Kathy created this mantra for her to really supersede and replace the program, the lie in her life. And this was it's this. I am a fountain of divine love, expressing as everything I want or need or wish to share with others. The fountain flows effortlessly from the source of all that is, all that was, and all that will be. All right, gold star, Kathy Smith. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Thank you. Anybody else? How about a microphone I know you guys are intimidated by that microphone.
Sure, I wrote, money is dirty and it's hard to make it.
That resonates with me. I hear you.
Instead of that, I wrote, money flows naturally, creating abundance in my life.
Beautiful. Easy. It doesn't have to be long and complicated. That's beautiful.
Right. And also I wrote, I've been single for so long, it's hard to get into a relationship. It was,
Yes.
I am loved, and my birthright is to be loved and have a companion.
It is your birthright. That's true. I love that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Give him a hand, everybody. Someone else who would like to share?
I'll go. Hi, everybody. My name's Eric. Okay, so I did 3 on money. I have a lot of negative self-talk. So first one, you're not good enough. I put, I am worthy of flowing in the abundance of wealth.
Beautiful.
Second one, you only deserve to be making this much. I feel like I get stuck in like a criteria. I put, you deserve all the financial security that you work for. And one that I tell myself a lot, you could never make 6 figures. And instead I'm going to
Anybody else? Yep, I used to think that too.
flip the switch and say you can achieve whatever you put your mind to.
Yes. Beautiful. And
was-
even take it to a whole new level. Say I. So
I.
create these statements in an I,
I.
right? I
Oh, I see
am,
it.
I will, I stand in, I become, I am I
see
is
what I
so
did.
powerful.
I like that. That was it. Anyone
Very proud of
else
you.
want to go?
Someone else?
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Someone, I thought I saw a hand. There we go.
So I just wanted to share with us because my problem has always been lack, scarcity. You know, I grew up with those same parents.
I thought you looked
Were my
familiar.
parents.
Eat my birthday
I'm
cake.
not from Texas. And I mean major scarcity and lack.
Yeah.
And so I've been going through this whole past year just being pretty much broke, you know?
I hear you.
And I knew I needed to have a breakthrough. And I remember something, not you, but another minister a long time ago, a Unity minister, said to me once, I don't even know what I asked him. And he said, I live a luxurious and abundant lifestyle. And I'm like, I was shocked that he said that, because you don't think of somebody,
Yes.
a minister wanting luxury, you know, or even saying it for that matter. And so I was shocked when he said that. And I used to say it a long time ago, and I forgot, literally for years. And it popped in my head the other day, or not the other day, like last month. And I started doing it every single day,
I'm so
all
proud
day
of you.
long, when the negative thoughts pop up, like all the negative scarcity, lack, whatever. Every time a thought came up, all I would say out loud to the universe is, I live a luxurious and abundant lifestyle. And I am telling you, within a week, it was like night and day turnaround.
Yes, it
Within a
was. I
month,
believe it.
it was, I can't, it's
That
two
was spirit
words.
that inspired
Two
you.
words, that's it. Like, so, so powerful, you know?
I'm proud of you for listening to your intuition because Spirit spoke to you. You followed it, even though it feels weird. I've had so many experiences like that. When I embraced what I was teaching, the doors would open. Literally, situations would disappear in front of me, and opportunities would arise in their place when I never thought that would happen. And so that's exactly right. That's how it works. I'm proud of you. Beautiful.
And over a period of time, like in the beginning, I kept saying it all day long because the negative thoughts, I couldn't believe how many times I said it, because I could not believe how many negative thoughts came up about
Anybody
money.
else? That's happened too? You recognize yourself in those? Yeah.
And then within a period of a couple of days, I noticed I wasn't saying it as much. And I noticed I wasn't having the negative thoughts anymore.
Right.
So it's like
You change the
transformative.
vibration of your mind. There's a frequency in our mind. And you spoke very high vibrational divine words over that. And you changed the vibration on an energetic level, which from a nursing background I know, it changes the physical structure of the brain. The neurons reconnect and shift and all that. And so that's why meditation and even laughing, they've found, it not only heals the brain, it heals the body and boosts the immune system, but just high vibrational lifestyle and living in thoughts and being and demonstrating literally heals the body, the mind, the spirit. Good. Good job. Very nice. Beautiful. Give her a hand. Someone else want to share real quick?
Anybody else?
That's okay. All right, well, let's do this. Let me go ahead and hold that. Did somebody want to share? I don't mind. All right. So what we've been experiencing, a lot of the things that I've spoken about, things that I've shared, not very easy things to share, but what what you probably noticed was there was a type of lack of growth in my life to a period where there was a big, yes, I had a mystical experience, and it can happen for you. It just happened, that's what I needed to go through for my transformation. And so my growth was arrested. We call it arrested development in psychology. And so when shocking experiences, when a little boy, teenager, walks into a house and there's a gun in his face and a very angry parent, and there's a clear cutting of the cords and on so many levels in that moment, that shocked me, that arrested me, but for years I had been shocked and traumatized. I literally lived in fear that my life was in danger constantly. It was never said directly to me until that moment, but I could sense it. I knew I had to be very careful. And so those experiences caused me to hide, to dim my light, to not be so happy and outgoing and want to meet people of other cultures and other religions. I was too much for them. They just couldn't handle it. So I learned to dim my light to make them happy, but I also couldn't be myself. Very difficult. My growth was arrested. My development, I was definitely an angry kid, angry adult, very selfish, very manipulative, because I literally had to survive. I literally had to survive. I had to take care of myself in life. I did. I didn't get any help from parents. And so those experiences, the things that were said to me, right, the programming, them telling me what I was, what I wasn't, what I could be, couldn't be, and all the other stuff, that was a shock in my system. It was emotional trauma. It was spiritual trauma. It was, what else could you call it? It was verbal trauma for me. I was never physically or sexually abused, but I might as well have been, because the words were weapons for me. And then I took those and I thought, well, it must be true. What parent would say that if it wasn't true? So I incorporated that into my program for so many years. And I would run from the stage. I didn't want to be seen. I would put all of you before me because that's what a good Christian boy does. You know, and I would always make everyone first. I would pour into you before I ever poured into me, because I just didn't know better. It was the program I was operating from. And so in that experience, it held me down, held me back. And I couldn't be me. I couldn't rise up to be the divine creature I was born to be. I couldn't step into my purpose. I had a life goal, I achieved it, and then the universe said, okay, we let you do what you want to do. Now, 6 months later, boom, we're going to make you drive a car to Dania Beach, and we're going to show you what reality really is about, and changed my life. It took literally kind of being hit in the face with it in order for me to change. And I get it. It's difficult. But remember, you are divinity in expression. There's nothing you can't do. All we have to do is sit in a beautiful state of meditation. We don't even need music, but it sure helps. And we simply go within and just feel the breath of God, literally. Your lungs, that's God's lungs. My hands that serve people, that's God's hands. My feet, my voice, my words, I've been told my words are healing. I may not be a Calvin Cates healer. My way of doing it is with my words. So I cast a net of healing over audiences to get them to change their minds so they can change their lives, to find God is right here. It's always been there. You are divine creatures, soul stars in little Earth star bodies, right? I love that. As corny as it sounds, I do love that. I need t-shirts that say that. Do you remember that old nursery rhyme? Sticks and stones may break my bones. Words can never hurt me. Honestly, go look it up. It's not really what it means. It has a different meaning. But what I will say is this. You understand the gist of the words. Bones heal without any effort on their own. But self-esteem often doesn't heal. And it probably won't heal without therapy, without literally self-analysis, self-awareness, being aware of what's operating inside, how those words have turned into programs. how the lies have been taken on, what we begin to use as weapons against ourselves because we just can't see our way out of it. All of that is arrested development. We build layers on ourselves, kind of like clothing or like an onion. Every time there's a trauma, we build another layer. Think of the people who walk with no shoes. What happens to the feet? Those beautiful, tender feet, they become calloused. A layer forms. First, it's micro-thin. The more trauma they walk, the deeper the callus grows, right? And the same with trauma in our lives, the things that don't light us up. And so I want you to understand also that there's a thing like a mask. We put a mask on to hide. I would hide my light for my safety. I would hide my light because maybe I would offend you with my light, because maybe I'm too much for you. Or I would scare you by if I showed you my true colors, you'd probably be afraid of me. Meaning, me being gay. There were people who were very threatened by me. And so I created layers and masks for myself, and I think that's what we tend to do sometimes. And so I want you to understand that the things we say to ourselves can be peeled away, and how we peel that onion blossom away is we speak love and kindness and divinity upon ourselves, to ourselves, as ourselves, because we are God in expression. We really are. It's that easy. And so, this experience where I had you pull up a little bit of that poison ivy, pull it out, look at it, write it out. When you take something from your mind that's just kind of ethereal, that you don't fully think about, you don't really look at it, but you know it's there, and you put it on paper, it becomes much more literally physical. It's an accountability partner you cannot ignore once you place this down on paper. That's why that exercise is so powerful. It also shows you what you're capable of to raise your vibration, to step into your divinity, because you've just created a beautiful divine dialogue for yourself. If you can do that on a sheet of paper, if you can do that in an experience like this in just 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, what could you do if you worked on it for a couple of days? Or for 15, 20 minutes each day for a week? Think of the journaling you could do. Think of all the things that you can take from a stormy cloud and make it into a rainbow. Add more rainbows into your life. Does that make sense? It's really that easy. Divine truth literally is not complicated. That's what makes it so amazing. It's simple, it's clear, it makes sense, and it feels, for those of us intuitives, empaths, right? Spiritualized people, we feel it in our spirit. When you say the words, don't you just light up? Doesn't your soul just beam? And that is a moment of healing for you. That's a moment of really raising your vibration, stepping into your divinity. And so, I want to offer you this. Let me do this. Can I co-create with you? Thank you. So I know that my transformation happened really kind of before my eyes, behind the steering wheel, and pretty quick after that. I know there are challenges in your life. There are things that you have never wanted to share. You've locked away like prisoners in a dungeon. You do not want to go there. I get it. But I guarantee you I can be a safe space for you. You know I do coaching. You know I do speaking. I do private sessions and programs and things like that. So I want to invite you, if you're interested, in going on a journey with me for about 4 weeks, starting March 3rd. I have a program called Elevate, because it's all about raising your vibration. It's taking the things that you think are so dark and difficult and simply changing how we look at them to create a result, an outcome that is incredibly high vibrational and divine. And it goes back to you. Authenticity, exposing the lies, self-love, forgiveness. Those are amazing. Gratitude, mind, body, spirit, wellness. We're going to touch on things like that. So if you're interested in something like that, come see me afterwards. And I'd love to talk to you. I really want to know, what are your dreams? And then we're going to talk about what's holding you back. Because I guarantee you, once we begin to change how we look at the situation, that poison ivy, I guarantee you, with just a little bit of help, I can push you along to an outcome that you're looking for, which is the dreams you're seeking, the greatness in your life, the purpose in your life, how you want to show up and serve in the world. A lot of people haven't even taken the time to look at that. That's why I wrote that book, Your Divine Purpose, a journey to fulfillment and legacy. Because so many of us have been unhappy. We didn't really know who we were to serve. We didn't know how to show up and serve. Well, you got to find out who you are first. What do you love? What do you like? What are your talents, your skills, your passions, your dreams, and so on? And how can we utilize that in a way that serves people and benefits you? It's just a constant circle of energy. Divine flows in a circular way. Does that make sense? That's something I want to share with you. This stuff the change, I'll say change. A lot of what we're doing this weekend, creating your life, is really creating a change. Changing your mind so you can change your life. It's scary, and it may bring up fear. Fear is ego. That's not the truth. The deepest, I'll say this. Your deepest fear is not that you are inadequate. Your deepest fear is that you are powerful beyond measure. It's not your darkness that scares you. It's your light. Your gift from this universe is your life on earth. And your gift back to the universe is what you do with it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor. The divine light in me recognizes the divine light in you for sure. Namaste.